Hi, Aries. It's Jen here from Tarot Spirit, here for your December 2015 monthly video. Um, so I'm going to do a quick three-card draw. I sort of overextended myself last month or overcommitted and didn't get out half of the zodiac monthly reading. So I don't want that to happen again. So I'm doing a shorter video this month, but I do plan on doing a 2016 overview, so look forward to that near the end of the month. And let's get going. Okay, so at the bottom of the deck, you have the Emperor. So the Emperor is a really wonderful leader. Oh, he's Aries, there's the ram. And he's the leader that all the kings go to. So he can relate to all the different elements very well, which is what makes him a good leader. And he's a tries to be a fair leader. He um, does what's best for the good of everyone. The whole, he looks at the big picture, and he's a dynamic leader that people do look up to, and he does lead by example. He doesn't just sit there and tell people what to do. So he's a respected leader. So perhaps leadership qualities are going to be required from you this month. Let's see. So we have the Five of Pentacles. And the Five of Pentacles usually comes up when we're sort of feeling left out in the cold a little bit. We're feeling overlooked and that we don't have the support we feel that we need at the moment. It can be, we can be feeling a little financially drained. And these are sort of normal, not normal, but people do tend to have these types of feelings come up around the holidays. One, you literally can be tight on money due to buying gifts and things like that and traveling and all that stuff. But sometimes, you can feel alone. Maybe you're missing a family member that's passed, or maybe you had a breakup recently, and it can stir up feelings of loneliness or feeling overlooked or forgotten. But the lesson in this card um, is that you may be in a little bit of a funk and a mood where you're just not receptive to the help that's out there, that people are, open to you. Like maybe you were invited to like two different holiday parties, but there was one you weren't invited to, and that was the one you, for whatever reason, wanted to go to. So, be careful that you're not sort of focusing on the negative and not seeing the big picture, because there are people that care about you and want you around. And then we have the Four of Pentacles. So this card to me is all about boundaries. Traditionally it's known as the miser card, the guy who holds on to his stuff too tight. But I really feel like it's learning how to have boundaries, and it's an incredibly difficult thing to do. And so some people have really strong boundaries to the point where they exclude. The Anna Kay Tarot has a great depiction of um, this interpretation of the Four of Pentacles. It has this man, and there's this stone wall, and he's on one side of the stone wall with all sorts of stuff, and he's like bent over, like, with all of his material goods. And on the other side of the fence is a woman and two children, and it's like he's so worried about holding on to his things that he has excluded his wife and children. So that's the negative side of boundaries. On the other hand, you can have no fence and have boundaries that are so free that people take advantage of you. And, so it can go either way. And I tend to find that the people with the strongest boundaries tend to be the ones that don't respect other people's boundaries. Have you ever noticed that? So it's very hard to find that balance, especially when there are some people who are very respectful of your boundaries and other people that are not. And then those people tend to get the most pissed when you say, "Hey, you know, these are my boundaries, please respect it." And they tend to be the ones that give you the hardest time. So if you do need to set some boundaries this month, you may feel a little out in the cold, but if someone makes you feel that way, quite frankly, they may not be someone who was the best type of person to have in your life. And it's sort of bringing up the emperor here, because the emperor has strong boundaries and people respect him because of it. And it seems, it's in some way it seems counterintuitive, like, oh, okay, well, if I'm, you know, put my foot down with people, and you don't have to do it in a negative way, but usually the people who don't like other people's boundaries take it negative no matter how you do it. Um, they're going to think I'm mean or difficult or, hard to deal with. But actually, by saying no, these are my boundaries and you're not overstepping them, people do actually respect you more and will see you more as a leader. And then we have the King of Swords. So in order to set these boundaries, the King of Swords is showing up to tell you to use your analytical mind, to cut away the emotions that you might feel with having to set boundaries. And, everyone's responsible for their actions. He will be able to relay to other people what his boundaries are in a very constructive, clear manner. People sometimes say swords are harsh, and they can be, but most of the time they're actually extremely articulate and well received because they have a gift of communication, and they take the emotion out of it. So people don't get caught up in the tone of the message. They hear the actual information being communicated. So I feel like some of you guys, and Aries are usually a pretty strong sign, but that maybe as a fellow fire sign, tone down the fire a little bit. And if someone's pushing your buttons or not respecting you, that you need to make a list, have someone read it, write an email, but have someone else read it and make sure it's devoid of emotion and be very factual. And I just wanted to let you know that this, and this, don't listen to me. I'm terrible at things like this, but ask someone who's good at it. And I always have my dad look over things. He's a sword. And vice versa. Actually, I'm good at doing it for other people, but not for myself. Not many people are. But in order to communicate really clearly, and the people that don't like it, well, maybe that's too bad for them. But I think you're actually, as you go through the month, rising up is this emperor that you're actually going to gain a lot of respect by being able to calmly, constructively express your needs, your boundaries, and how things are going to go forward in the future if things aren't going in the way that is acceptable to you at the moment. So that's great to be ending the year as the emperor.